Hello everybody, welcome to the 38th episode of the Online Tennis Podcast. Thank you for joining us. It's myself, Jack, and my co-host.
Yes, Gavin back this week as usual. Good to see you, Jack. Another very good week of tennis to discuss, no doubt, and another week to look forward to in Monte Carlo as well.
Indeed, another Masters already. This is proper stacked, isn't it? I mean, we've had 4 Masters on either side of the tour.
Pretty much,
5 Masters actually in the last 2 months.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not complaining, but yeah, it's a lot of tennis.
I think at the same time, Gav, you've been a bit deprived of the 250, so that your bloodstream really needs.
I mean, I'm literally the 250 ambassador for the ATP Tour, pretty much.
Yeah, we're going to talk a bit about all this. You'll be glad to hear, Gav, a few of the smaller tournaments that went on. It'll be quite brief this week. We won't go into them too deep, but
there wasn't that many tournaments going on last week, really. So.
No, but I'll cover a little bit on Houston, Charleston, Bogota, and also where is it going? Marrakech. That's the other one. Yeah. But it's all going to be very sort of surface level stuff. We'll just a few opinions about it and that. And we'll cover a bit on Monte Carlo so far, and a little bit on a player who has announced his retirement.
Yes, Jo-Wilfried Tsonga.
Jo-Wilfried Tsonga, yeah. I mean, we don't need any more introduction, Gav. I'm going to just spring it upon you. I've put together a tiny little 5 questions.
I should have known this was coming. Yeah, I'm ready for it.
It's one of those ones that could go either way, to be honest, because you've done it with me before, and you've hit me with some absolute stinkers, and I've come out with an answer just out of nowhere, and then you've come out with some easy questions, and I'm just like, I've got no idea what it is, Gav. So it could go
my
either
quizzes
way.
are generally fair. We'll see how this one is, but
yes,
generally my quizzes are fair. But
yeah, I think they are too. But this one might not be fair. We'll see. We don't have to put it in as always, Gav.
Stuff like where did he win his 36th ATP match? Hopefully, should be all right.
I'll get rid of that question. Delete. There we go. So first things first, a wee Tsonga quiz, because poor guy's retiring at the French Open this year, unfortunately. So first question, Gavin, the Tsonga quiz. Mm-hmm. Who did Tsonga beat in his first round during his Australian Open 2008 final run?
Well, I'll own up, right? I when we did this, we basically Jack had a power cut, right? So pre-power cut, I said I thought Andy Roddick, right? And I said Andy Roddick. Now, the power cut somehow gave me this instant burst of knowledge, and it's Andy Murray. It is Andy Murray.
I set you up for a hole in one there, Gav, but we'll take it.
I too, had to be honest,
I'll give you a half point then.
I think. Half a point. Well, 3/4 of a point. You can go up to 3/4 of a point, I think.
It was famous for me. I just remember, in hindsight, I didn't actually see the match, but I know that Andy has had very few first round losses in his career, I believe. Yeah. Number 2, Gav, if you're ready.
Yeah, let's go for it.
Can you name Tsonga's 2 Masters titles?
Toronto was one of Canada.
Yeah, can you name the year?
2014. Beat Roger
Nice.
in the final.
Solid, nice. Second one, though?
Yeah,
second one, go on. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay. Just set me up there. I think it was in... See, I think I know the answer, but I'm just going to have a final recap. Yeah, Paris.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I'm touchy on the year myself, to be honest.
Was it 2000? Was it not 2008, the same year that he won?
Yeah, nice.
The final of the Australian Open? Yeah.
Nailed it, Gav. Well done. That's it. As I said 2009 myself, but that might be a band. Or was it? No, not a banding. Whatever. But getting off topic here, Gav. Sorry. Nailing it so far. Number 3. Mm-hmm. Who are the 2 players outside of the big 4 to beat Tsonga in a Grand Slam semi-final?
Well, one is Stan. That was 2015 Roland Garros. I remember
on it.
That actually was meant to be on... I was meant to be studying for an exam at school, and it was on these study period things where you sit in the classroom and you're told to study for the exam. Basically, I had the book out and I secretly had the
easily distracted. Yeah, I'd have been the same.
Me being a big Stan fan, sort of excitably watched that, although it was looking bad after the first set in that match. It was not
on it quickly there, Gav. Well done.
I know, because Tsonga won the first set, didn't he? 7-6, I believe, and then I think he won the next 2. The other player to beat him in a semi-final, that's a very, very good question.
I had a clue for you, but you dove into the other one so quickly. The 2 semi-finals are both at the French Open.
Yes, they were. That's right. The other one would be Ferrer 2013.
Yeah, well
That
done,
match
Gav.
was famous because it was scheduled after the famous Nadal Djokovic match, and basically the crowd had left the stadium. So a lot
Yeah.
of people said that that was quite flat when Tsonga came out to play, and he didn't look himself. He beat Roger in the did he beat Roger in the fourth round of the quarters of that 2013 Roland Garros? He did beat him en
Mm,
route to the semi-final.
yeah, that rings a bell.
He
Maybe
did beat
fourth
him,
round.
but I can't remember. It was either fourth round or quarter final. But yeah, I remember that match because basically the crowd left and it was a pretty much a damp squib. So
Yeah.
yeah, both Roland Garros, Ferrer and Wawrinka.
Good knowledge, Gav. There, thank you very much. Nailing it so far. Honestly, you're doing really well. Number 4.
Sitting
Hopefully
with
not
the
jinxed
ball.
you here. Yeah. What year and event did Tsonga win an Olympic medal?
Ooh, it wasn't 2004. I don't think he won doubles in 2012. I'm gonna go for. Ooh, see, I was gonna say Beijing because I knew that it's not my final answer. Just trying to work this out. I know Nadal won gold in Beijing. Novak won the
I might save you a bit of trouble, Gav. It is 2012 Olympic
2012
doubles.
Olympic men's doubles.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that is. Yeah. Yeah, Tsonga won the silver medal with Michael Laudrup against, was it the Browns? I think it was the Browns,
yeah, I
pretty
think it
sure.
was. But yeah,
Yeah,
rings a bell.
yeah. Last question, Gav. Which member of the Big Four did Tsonga have the best record against in terms of
That's a
match win percentage?
very good question. Very, very good question. I'm gonna go Roger.
Gav, on it today, man. On it.
Yeah, because there's
Yes.
you had three big wins being Wimbledon 2011 quarter final.
Yeah,
It
of
came back
course.
in two
Of
sets
course.
down. The Toronto final, and what was the other one? The Roland Garros win. Of course, that's three wins off the top of the bat. So
Yeah, well done, Gav. Well done. So 12-6 against Roger, 33%. 17-6 against Novak, 26%. 10-4 against Rafa, 29%. Just short of Roger, actually. And 14-2 against the man himself, Andy Murray,
thought you were going to say
13%.
Marin Cilic there, but he's not a big four member. But yeah,
Love it. You cut out for a second there, Gav.
yeah.
I
Okay.
think I'm guessing you were just saying, well done, Andy, or something like that. I don't know.
I was just saying. I thought you were, when you said man himself, I thought you were going to say Marin Cilic, but
All right, I see. No, sorry to burst your bubble, Gav. Perfect, or almost perfect. And obviously the half mark for the first one. So we're saying
4.5 out of 5.
well 5.5 out of 6 because the second one's a 2 pointer. So yeah, 5.5 out of 6. No, 6.5 out of 5.5 out of 7. Sorry, it's out of 7, Gav. But you're because there was a couple of 2 pointers.
Okay.
But that's good. That's very good for one of my quizzes. As you keep shutting them down, I guess. Keep saying they're you can't come back. So this is
It's
you definitely
basically
come
showing
back
that I've
after that.
watched too much tennis and I really need to get a life. Really.
Yeah, it's a lose, really, isn't it? If you do
Yeah,
well,
I
you're just
remember
like
scores from like the 2015 semi-final and all that. Like, yeah.
okay, Gab. Do you want to talk about a few of those crazy 250s that are going on around the world?
Let's go for it. Always up for 250 discussion.
Always up for it. Love it. First one I was going to talk about was Houston.
Yeah.
And I think first thing I was just going to talk about that, that Kyrgios character again, just for a little bit of time. For those that hadn't heard, he's had another wee outburst, kind of blamed the umpire for a call that he couldn't really make from his seat.
To be fair, the umpiring was shocking all week, really. It was
quite bad, to be fair.
It was bad.
Just to fill people in first, so he did a little Twitter post on it and stuff, sort of saying, "No, like, this always happens in my matches. The umpires, there needs to be more money put into it, needs to be better, more professionalism. Basically,
maybe he just needs to be a bit mentally tougher. That's what I was.
Yeah, well, that's exactly where I was getting, Gav. I think we're just feeling the same way as last time. In fact, I feel like it's got worse. Of course, I mean, it can't just keep happening from Kyrgios because it's just getting to the point of a joke. I'm definitely not on his side. I think everybody is sick of it, to be honest. Obviously, because the world's not out to get him. It's absolutely ridiculous that he thinks it is. So yeah, he got a point penalty after swearing when he lost the point at 30-all, 5-all in the second set because of it. It basically lost him the match again, like the center match. It's just a joke. He could be so good. He's not going to be on clay, I guess, for the rest of the year. So maybe there's
Roland Garros.
Well, he's been flaky about that. I know.
I wanted to see Paris, so I mean,
I saw that, but then I also heard after that press conference that he wasn't playing. But then that might have been from an outlet that didn't pick up
Things
that.
seem to change every hour with Kyrgios, but
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but I saw that as well. He said his girlfriend wanted to go to Paris so he would play Roland Garros or something like that.
yeah, I mean, who knows? You might turn up in Estoril, one of the 250s, and play before RG. You never
Yeah,
know.
I think he gets quite a bit of money for it, so he
Yeah,
probably
just chuck
will.
money at him and he'll play, won't he?
Yeah, exactly. I think so. A bit of good news, a bit of just Kyrgios controversy news.
Mm.
Cristian Garin breaks a 5-match losing streak.
He did, yeah, and he's a former champion in Houston. Again, how do I know that? I remember watching the final round of the Masters, slightly off topic, 2019. Tiger Woods wins his Masters 2019. And I thought that's the biggest sport achievement of the day.
Meanwhile,
Cristian Garin's winning the Houston final, wins his first title in Houston. So.
Can you remember who he beat out of interest?
Casper Ruud, wasn't it?
I don't remember. I don't know.
Casper Ruud. Yeah, I think off the
Cool.
top of my head, yeah.
Good win in a final. Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew you'd be happy about this bit of news. I know you're a wee bit of a Garin
Yeah, I mean,
lover
having
for
watched
sure,
him
Gav.
in Rio against Federico Coria, I mean, that was a shocking match. I mean,
Yeah, he'd really went off the boil. I think
not
that's
only
fair
was
to say.
Coria's grunt unbearable, but Garin just seemed to just fell
He
apart.
didn't want to hear any more of it. I think, Gav.
Yeah, quite rightly so.
Yeah, he made the semi-finals, brilliant in that sort of form. You know, the sort of form that he was in previous to this tournament. There were always going to be difficult matches. Defeated Jordan Thompson and Jack Sock from a set down before beating Taylor Fritz in 3 as well, losing the second set. He lost nobly to John Isner. I think there's no shame in that. So it's a bit of a weird surface in Houston, to be fair. But
he's won 6 ATP titles, I think, off the top of my head. They all seem to come in that sort of golden swing, whatever they call it in South America. I think he's won he won ATP 500 in Rio a couple of years ago. So yeah, he's a quality player. Made the 4th round of Wimbledon as well before everyone says he's a clay court specialist and jumps in there. He has made the 4th round of Wimbledon. Quality player. I like him. I think he's good all round game. And yeah, I think hopefully he can perform well for the rest of the clay court season.
yeah, definitely, I agree. I was going to get a bit more into the court surface there. It's very odd because obviously going into this final, it's probably necessary to say it's very strange American-y clay. I think it's very conducive to kicky serves anyway.
It's played at a tennis club, the River Oaks Country Club, and one of the clay there looks like identical to Bishop Briggs Tennis Club in Glasgow.
In Glasgow, yeah. Well, I'm pretty sure you said yesterday, Gav, that Bishop Briggs was the worst.
Oh no, I never said that. I said Bishop Briggs was an exemplary.
Oh, of course, yeah. Sorry.
And thoroughly enjoyed playing in the clay there.
Sorry, you weren't on record then, were you, Gav? Apologies.
Record. You kicked me in the can now.
Sorry.
This season.
Yeah, I think it's we'll assume maybe Gav's not a fan of the surface for good reason.
I was in Melbourne. Like, there'll be people waiting outside and have to stay in the detention centre outside the clubhouse or whatever. Nightmare scenario.
If you've got a serve that you can put a lot of spin on, you're definitely going to. Isner is actually not got the craziest serves in the world in terms of spin. He's just a big server. So it was pretty exceptional him getting to the final. Opelka, on the other hand, his second serves were so difficult to read by the looks of it. They look very tough.
The kick is ridiculous. And
it is ridiculous.
Opelka, I think it's important to say is he is an all-court player as well because made the semi-finals in Rome last year. I saw a couple of tennis, we won't name them, people on Twitter, journalist status, saying, Isner Opelka, this is awful, or this isn't good for the game. I mean, Opelka's a quality player from the back of the court, and it's the way he uses his serve, because he wasn't just hitting 140 mile an hour bombs all the time. He's very tactical in the way he approaches it. He hits 108 mile an hour out wide to vary it up. He's very good at hitting his spots, very good at varying his pace and the big points as well. An exceptional kick in his second serve, and he's got very good court play. So, give the guy to respect. He's very, very impressed with how he's performed. I think that's his second title of the season because he won in Dallas.
He did, yeah, you're right. Yeah, a few stats for you in general, and a bit more than what you just said there, Gav, because I totally agree. Tallest ever ATP final. Believe the previous tallest was Anderson Karlovic in Pune 2019. I didn't actually fact check that, but I'm pretty sure that's right.
Well, like 6'10" plays 6'11", something like that.
Yeah, 6'11" plays 6'8". I think Anderson is only 6'8", a midget, obviously. So I think
I thought Isner was. Is Isner?
Sorry. So you're talking about this one? Yeah, this was 6-11 v 6-10. You're right. Yeah. The match kind of was always going to go in Opelka's favour after the second set went the way it did. That tie break, obviously, I think Isner had like 8 break points throughout the set.
He was 6-4
without converting any.
as well in that second set breaker. And
and he was had 3 set points in the tie break. It didn't look like it was destined
very
to
windy
be
conditions
Isner's day.
as well, like very difficult to play in. And it was funny, Opelka seemed to struggle most with the slow ball, like so the balls that were setting up a slow short ball he was struggling with, like which I find quite funny. In those windy conditions he's able to play the really difficult ones, the sort of the more difficult ones. I mean the more easier ones you'd think he wasn't able to put the ball away.
Yeah, there was a lot of scrappy tennis. At the same time, Opelka deserves a lot of credit, and as you say, like he's such a good baseliner nowadays. He's 5-1 against Isner for a reason. He owns the back of the court in that matchup.
Great forehand, good whip on it as well. Like nice whippy action.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and I mean there was a few set points that Opelka saved after Isner made serving volleys. That's big plays right there, because Opelka had to get that return incredibly low twice to stop Isner putting the volley back in play.
Pretty well in the final, I think. From what
he did, exactly.
Definite improvement on when he played Andy in the Davis Cup in 2015 in Scotland. I don't know if anybody remembers that match apart from me, but he just couldn't.
I was there, Gav.
I
do remember that.
Couldn't volley. You know, he went into the net so many times and just couldn't volley. Yeah, so that was arguably the win for James Ward. There, 1 GB to tie. I always remember because it was hilarious. Like the contrast, Leon Smith was like in his GB tracksuit and Jim Courier was like in his proper tailored suit. I was just like laughing at the contrast, like him walking through bloody Parkhead with the Savile Row suit on. Like.
Jim Courier and Parkhead is not a combo that makes much sense to me, to be honest. It's very true.
Anyway, that was a Sunday. I think it was like 7-6, 6-4, 7-6. It was a couple of tiebreakers and a 6-4 set, but don't know why I went off topic there, but
it was a 5-set. It was 5-setter back in the day, Gav.
Yeah, and it was actually Davis Cup was properly run. Can you imagine?
I'm sure James Ward came back from 2 sets down. Did he not?
He did. Yeah, that arguably won them the tie.
It's incredible.
Fantastic. Yeah, good memories. Go back Thursday.
Indeed. We've both been a little bit wrapped up in a bit of nostalgia there. We'll get back on the topic there. Fourth career title for Opelka. All of them have been in America.
Yep.
Yeah, he's a player that's improving every single day.
New York, Delaware Beach, Dallas, and Houston.
Oh, good one, Gav. Well done. An extra point on the quiz. That's 6.5 out of 7.
I need to work my way up.
Move on very swiftly to Charleston, the WTA tournament. I won't have too much to say here, but the green clay. I mean, Belinda Bencic winning a clay court title was fairly noteworthy. She very nearly almost didn't in her first round match against Ziyu Wang. The world number 150 was down 4-6, 2-4, 15-40 in the second set. Then also down 3-5 in the second set tiebreak. In our quarterfinal against Badosa, down 2-6, 2-4, 30-all. Also down 5-all, 15-40 in the second set. She was very close to going out. And it's not, it's never been a surface that's actually suited her. So it made sense it was going to be a scrappy affair. But, I mean, at the same time, I always thought she was a bit of an all-court player. Obviously, those returns, taking them early is probably the hardest to do on the kicky surface of clay. But
very good change of direction as well.
I mean, well, exactly. So I would kind of expect Bencic's ability to change directions so easily to suit her. But I think it's quite difficult to take the ball early on clay, I guess, compared to other surfaces. I think that's the biggest problem. This is a really big win, and I was kind of surprised she didn't win a clay court title sooner than this, but still, there's a first time for everything. A little bit on Jabeur. Her finalist, and that she beat. Jabeur was really upset with the loss. This now makes her 1-4 in finals, her only one coming in Birmingham last year. Every single one of her losses has been a 2-1 loss. She was super upset about losing there and said it was
totally understand.
She said it was one of the toughest losses of her career.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's obviously going to be devastating when you're that close in so many finals and you can't go over the line, but positive. It's like the Oji Aliassime scenario, isn't it? If you keep getting yourself in that position, you will eventually get over the line. more frequently. And she's a quality player, got great variety, great to watch. And if you're making that many finals in the WTA Tour, if you've been that consistent, and that's nothing against the WTA Tour, but we've seen the consistency of players can go up and down. If you've been that consistent making finals, you're definitely going to be put yourself in the position to win one again, and you're eventually going to get over the line and build some momentum. So disappointing defeat, but what I would say to her if she somehow listens to this podcast is, yeah, just keep going.
And obviously, yeah, loads of fans like with her unique game style and the fact that she's maybe the only sort of high-ranked representative of any sort of African sort of West Asian country, basically as well. She's always going to have a massive fan base. But yeah, I mean, I'm a fan of her. I'm sure you're a
Yeah,
fan of her, Gav, because of
absolutely.
the amazing shots she pulls off. So hopefully
And great
that
variety as
inspires her.
well.
Yeah, hopefully our two fandoms inspire her to win a title. I'm sure.
Yeah.
It's sad, and it's quite interesting you bring up Holger Aliassime because he didn't ever voice how upset he was about losing those
Yep.
finals, but it obviously would have totally ate him up. And
Well, you saw his outpour of emotion when he won Rotterdam when his dad was on the FaceTime, and
yeah,
you get all sat in, and that's great as well because a lot of people can, especially the casual tennis fans, can poo-poo these events that aren't slams and masters
yeah,
as if they're not that important. But the diehards, the purists that watch it week in week out, understand how big these titles are, and that is a prestigious ATP 500 that he won in Rotterdam.
yeah.
And it was great to see that outpouring of emotion, and that's what I think the tour needs to advertise more how much these titles that aren't masters and aren't Grand Slams, how much they actually mean to the players. How much
Yeah,
that
totally,
outpouring of
totally.
emotion could really help boost the 500s and the 250s as well.
Totally, Gav. I agree with that. Yeah, like a little bit of Jabur's speech maybe getting marketed by the WTA. I only stumbled upon it by accident because I was actually watching the match back. Yeah, I agree. I totally agree, Gav. It's a shame. One that will definitely make you a bit happy, Marrakech. David Goffin wins.
Mm-hmm.
Loved it. Loved just hearing that. It was amazing. He's had that left knee injury for the last year. He's been suffering with form in general for the last couple of
He's
years,
possibly
really.
been the most unlucky player to suffer horrific injuries, hasn't he? The eye injury.
Oh, of course, yeah, the eye
Yeah.
injury. Yeah,
The,
Jesus.
the
There was another one as well, was there not?
fallen incident at Roland Garros when he rolled his ankle, wasn't it? The tarpaulin at the back of the court.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And he
Oh,
had the
that's...
dreadful line call against Rafa at Monte
Yes, at
Carlo
Monte
as well. So
Carlo.
you talk about luck, bad luck in the court. I mean,
And super likable guy as well. It's always
super
the
chilled out.
ones that are the most likable, isn't it?
Yeah, super chilled out guy.
Oh,
Great.
then I suppose it happened to Kyrgios a lot actually, but he could just
Nah,
Anyway, yeah, it's not really the same thing, is it?
not really.
What were you saying there, Gal? Sorry.
Yeah, just good to watch again. One of these players that makes you work hard for every single point against him.
Yeah.
I mean, he doesn't beat himself, doesn't make too many unforced errors. Really difficult to hit through as well. Great mover. And it was concerning. I watched him in Rotterdam against, I think it was Di Manu in the first round, and he just got totally mashed, broken apart. And I think there was talks from some people saying, well, is he ever going to get back to where he was? And I know that all these melodramatic people that, get really worried after a couple of losses, but that's how, comprehensive the defeats were. And
I don't think Dimino is the best matchup for him, to be honest. I would say that as well.
yeah, but equally, yeah. I mean, I think whenever a player suffers a couple of heavy defeats, he lost in the Phoenix Challenger as well to Liam Brody in the
Yes.
quarterfinals. So he was struggling to win Challenger, get to the semis of Challengers.
Fair dues, though.
And recovered from a set and a breakdown in the final against Molchan.
Yes, he did. Yeah.
So, and I actually thought it was one of those matches. I thought, yeah, even though Molchan's a set and a breakup, David's going to come back. I just had this feeling. I checked the score, and
I did not. I'll be honest. I did not.
the confidence. I kept the faith, and yeah, don't know
Love
why
it.
I thought he was going to come back. I saw the score in the app.
Well, one of the reasons, Gav, might have been that he'd had a week of coming back from a set down. There was two other matches, Pablo Andujar and Roberto Carballes Bena. He had to come back from a set down in both of those matches. So it had been a week of comebacks, Gav.
Comeback king.
Yeah, the comeback king, exactly. He was actually down 1-2, 40-15 on Molchan's serve as well.
He was, yeah. That's when I checked the score.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah, amazing win from Gav. I gotta agree. Like 6th title of his career as well. The man that knocked him out of the Melbourne 250 at the start of the year was Alex Molchan as well. So nice to get a little bit of revenge. Yeah, obviously an amazing story. One of the coolest things I heard, Gav, was that he was warming up with tournament director Hicham Aratsi. I've never actually said his name out loud. I've always seen it written down, so I hope that's how you pronounce it. For a little prep, because he's a lefty, obviously former world number 22 back in the day, tournament director at Marrakech, decided to help him out, give him a bit of lefty practice. Thought it was quite cool.
Yeah.
First title for Goffin on clay since Kitzbühel in 2014, 8 years ago. Wow. Back in the top 50 after dropping out for only 4 weeks. Obviously had a lot of points from, I believe, Montpellier last year, and he has quite a few points in Monte Carlo as well, so it'll be interesting to see if he drops back out of the top 50. Bogota, Tatiana Maria even won the Bogota Open. Inspiration for many. Qualifier number 237 ranked player is the lowest ranked WTA titleist since Margarita Gasparian in 2018. Number 299 at the time was Gasparian. First ever WTA final to feature 2 players ranked lower than number 200.
Wow.
Yeah, I hadn't heard of her opponent. I've not got her opponent's name written down. That is terrible. So I can't even remember what it was. It was like Pagosi, I think. No idea. Hadn't heard of her before.
It's testing your pronunciation, this podcast.
And I'm pretty sure Pagosi is right. Apologies if it's not. Obviously, Maria has got a crazy game, all slices. I did find it quite funny watching one of our highlight videos. Somebody in the comments had said, I can't believe the WTA puts together these highlights so poorly. Featured 98% slices in this reel. And then one of the witty admins replied, have you ever watched Tatiana Maria play before? They're obviously quite on the ball WTA admins. I quite like them.
Yeah, sharp.
Yeah, they are sharp, and they're obviously all sort of our age-ish because they seem to be quite in touch with
social media savvy. That's
social media savvy, exactly. Yeah, so they knew what they were doing. Yeah, well done, Maria. Obviously, incredibly inspirational. 34 years old, mother of 2, wins a title for the first time ever on tour. No mother of 2 has won one previously.
Yeah.
Right, Gav, let's move on to Monte Carlo, and I think maybe I'll be able to make this podcast alive and in one piece. We'll see. I think the first thing I wanted to talk about was Stan Wawrinka losing today. Did you see that?
Yeah, just to be fair, I think there's more positives than negatives. I watched his comeback, a bit of his comeback in his challenger, and the challenger in Marbella, he was 4-1 up in the second set, lost at 6-4. Today, okay, when the match got tight in the second set, he wasn't able to pull through, but look at the positive, he's able to stay out in court for 2.5 hours, fight a competitive match, be on the court. His injury, okay, he didn't move maybe particularly well in the third set as he would have liked, but it's a process, and I'm not worried about it. I think he will slowly get back to his best. Bublik's a tough opponent. First win for him in Monte Carlo. He hates the clay, which was hilarious in that post-match interview. I think he doubled down on it in his tennis channel interview as well with Prakash Armitage.
Yeah.
But no, Bublik's a tough opponent at the best of times. And Stan, it was positives to take. Took the first set, wasn't able to get over the line in the second, but slow and steady wins the race. Progression to be made, and
it was just fitness in the third set. You're quite right. Bublik saying he didn't deserve to win the match. Absolutely, Stan definitely deserved to win the match. He said 3 months. I loved him. He's a very funny guy. He said 3 months from now, it's 6-3, 6-3 for Stan. No problem, basically. Totally. I thought this was good for Stan. So nothing to worry about. Definitely. Djokovic v Alcaraz, obviously the potential quarterfinal everybody is talking about. First things first, I was just going to say Djoko might have to beat his conqueror from last year, Dan Evans.
Yes, Evans has got a tough one tomorrow against Benjamin Bonzi, which incidentally, I'll just plug the last word in tennis predictions. That's one of the matches I'm writing predictions for. So a wee podcast plug. Visit my last word on sports article if you want to know what my prediction is.
I was going to say don't say it yet. I'll say mine.
With bated breath.
I think Dan will win, but we don't have to argue that.
You just have to go on and check my page out just to find out that we plug last one sports page.
And Alcaraz has a second round with Sebi Korda before he would go any further as well.
Good today in his win over Botic van der Zandschulp.
Yes, though I didn't know that was his first round. That's good. Yeah, decent. Although I don't think Botic is probably the most the best clay court player. I just a hunch based on his game.
Yeah, Corda played well, to be fair. But of course, the performance of the day, and I just can't wait to get this in, being honest with you.
Yeah.
Performance of the day.
Yeah.
Mr. Marin Cilic, under the lights at dusk in
the two old dogs.
The Court Ranier the third. Everyone's sitting there freezing, looking miserable. Just hilarious. Yeah, it was quite funny. Just the crowd looked. There was a picture, wasn't it? I don't know if you watched the match.
No, I saw some of that. I saw quite a bit of it. Yeah.
They looked like four long faces, and majority of them supporting Tsonga. And it was just funny, you think, nothing against Church, but you think, he knows that this is probably Tsonga's last match at
Monte Carlo,
I thought he might tone the celebrations down, but it was like full of I can't really do an impression of it, but he sort of does these weird shouts when he hits the forehand, where like, Daddy, like that, he just shouts, and it was quite funny considering in the final game he did that as well when he knew that it was Tsonga's last match. It was like brutal, but
it's respect. It's respect, isn't it, from Marin? Yeah.
Yeah, it was quite funny, but yeah.
he doesn't underrate Tsonga, so he has to keep going. It makes sense. I think that's definitely respectful of him, rather than rubbing salt in the wound so much. But it was quite a nice match to watch. Actually, and the crowd obviously gave him a lovely send off at the end of the match.
The problem for Tsonga was he just couldn't really handle the Cilic serve and couldn't get the return back deep enough.
His forehand's pretty freaky nowadays as well, I gotta say, compared to what it used to be. Definitely.
Yeah,
it's a shame.
Yeah.
The last thing I wanted to mention is Holger Rune won the San Remo Challenger on Sunday before making the hour drive to Monte Carlo qualifiers and playing his first qualifying match 4 hours after winning in the final of San Remo.
Yeah.
That's cool, isn't it?
Brutal, isn't it?
Yeah, it's brutal, yeah, but it's a good story. People don't do that ever really nowadays.
Version of the West of Scotland Calcutta Cup thing, isn't it? Singles and doubles and singles.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, even in the Scottish Calcutta Cup, it's not an hour drive from your singles to your doubles. To be fair,
it's not. I mean,
so well in, honestly, well in. A bit of respect for Rude because he hadn't totally been my favourite player up until now. I've got to say, given a few of the things people have been saying about him.
A bit whiny, wasn't he? The crowds and. Was it Buenos Aires he was a bit whiny about?
Yeah, there was a slur as well, a homophobic slur and a few other things. But I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubt based on how young he is, and he does seem to be sort of tightening up his act a little bit. So, moves like that, it's quite, it's a very physical sport and obviously cramps a lot. It's just quite impressive.
Fair play to do that, definitely. We know for the qualifying in Monte Carlo, they were charging up to €60 to watch qualifying, which a lot of people were not happy with. I think it was Chris Goldsmith on Twitter that I saw that on. So shout out to him if he's listening to the podcast. But they were charging up to €60 to watch.
Yeah, that's poor.
I was thinking of saving up to go next year, but I might.
Yeah, not Monte Carlo. I think
take out another mortgage before.
Yeah, I mean, Rome's the place to go. Rome's very affordable, and I mean,
it's either Rome or Monte Carlo. So I think my decision's been made.
Yeah. Gav, thanks for putting up with all that. Jesus Christ, we got there eventually. We will end there. We can talk about plenty to do with Monte Carlo next week. Yeah. Don't need to do any more sort of preview stuff. I think that's it. That's fine.
Yep.
I would quite like to mention just quickly the latest article on the Line page on Carlos Alcaraz, just on his defining characteristics at the Miami Open, how he managed to come through, just a bit on his movement, mental toughness and stuff. Go check that out. That would be amazing. Gav's predictions on Monte Carlo. Is that an all-week thing, or is it just a day?
I think I'll be doing it for a few days anyway. Whether I do it all week, we will see. But yeah, whenever I can do it, I will do it. And no doubt people will immediately switch off this podcast after it's done and immediately go and check my prediction for the Evans Bonzi match. Even if you're listening to this, a year from now, you'll be intrigued to see what I thought. I
kind of want to know, to be fair. So yeah, it's worth Gav, to be fair.
Yeah, I'll give you an exclusive off the record.
Okay, cool. Yeah, go check Gav out on Last Word on Sports. Go check me out on onlinetennis.uk. Thank you very much for listening this far through. This has been the Online Tennis Podcast. Cheers, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.